Oh, hey! I can't. Welcome back to the Brighten Your Day show. My producer, aka my mother, is laughing at me. um, oh my gosh, welcome back to season 2. I would say it's probably season 3 or 4 because of how many times I've changed this show, but we're gonna say it's season 2 just for clarity's sake. I feel like I wanted to talk about that for a little bit just to reflect on everything I've done in my other seasons, my previous seasons, and then where the show's gonna go because I finally feel like I know where I want this show to go. Um, Season 1, I feel like I did so many different things. Like I did a lot of interviews where it kind of turned into like an interview podcast show. I also did a lot of like, how do I explain this? Like mental health type of stuff, self-help. That's what the word I'm thinking of. Self-help type of things, but I kind of just was having not that much fun. And when I don't have fun when I'm doing stuff, that's when I quit. So I feel like I wanted this to be a lighter show and not like, not like I can't talk about self-help things or things that have helped me throughout my life or whatever, but I genuinely just want to have fun with this show. I want to go on rabbit holes, deep dives, talk about cultural things that I want to talk about, books I'm reading, music I like. I There's just so many other sides of me that I feel like I wasn't showing, and I was only showing like one side of me, and that one side was very serious a lot of the time. So, welcome back to season 2, where it's just a whole bunch of different things that I feel like are more me. And if you guys haven't read like the description, I want the vibe of this show to be somewhere between like a campfire conversation and a late night talk show. And what I mean by that is like campfire conversation is all about lore and whimsy and like ghost stories and mystical things and whatever, and then or like just fun storytelling. And then I feel like a talk show is more about cultural things that are happening and my take on it all, or if I have people that call in or letters or whatever, like that's more of a talk show vibe. So it's kind of an intersection between it all, and it's all here to brighten your day. um, okay, we are going to talk about, here's the thing. Oh, my husband just texted me asking if I needed some new deodorant. Maybe I should text him back and say yes. What de- what deodorant do you guys like? I go with Dove. Anyways, okay. It's fall time, right? I'm recording this on October 9th, and I just have to explain. Maybe I can't even explain. I can't even put it into words, but fall is everything to me. Absolutely everything. And that's why we decided to do the show out here today, because it's freaking beautiful outside. It's perfect weather. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. The leaves are gorgeous. And if you don't live somewhere that has like amazing falls, you need to come visit Utah. That's where I'm filming this right now, because it is absolutely insane, just the sheer beauty that is around us right now. It looks like a green screen. And I feel like fall has always felt just better than summer for some reason for me. Like, it feels like a true, I don't know, summer's so busy, and I guess fall is busy when you're like going back to school and whatnot, but I'm not doing any of that. But fall to me is like, it just feels like it's a release, and it's before all of the holidays, which I feel like all the holidays are so wholesome and so fun, but it can get crazy. So it's just like a little breath of fresh air where I feel like I stay outside more often. There's so many traditions with fall that I absolutely love, like warm coffees and what else? What are other fall traditions? Clearly, you can tell that I have not talked about this a lot. I don't know, sweater weather, right? Sweater weather. Um, Music. There's so much music that I feel like just screams fall to me. And pumpkin patches. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Pumpkin patches. And even just like canyon drives. I know this is another like Utah thing where if you don't live in Utah, I'm sorry, but canyon drives, like it's gorgeous outside. You don't even have to go and pay to do something amazing. You just go outside and drive, and you like it's free entertainment. Um Anyways, that's really my whole thing on fall. I absolutely love it. I feel like it's just the vibes are really vibing here. Today, my deep dive. My deep dive that I wanted to talk about is everything to do with spirit animals, because it was about 2 weeks ago I was driving back from my cabin, and out of nowhere, I literally thought it was a bear, but we were driving like up this road and then it was windy or whatever, and down in the ravine, we see this gigantic moose. I've never seen a moose in real life. They're way bigger than you would think. I thought they were maybe a little bit bigger than a deer, and I was sadly mistaken. It was so majestic, so gorgeous, and it just, I don't even know how to explain it. It just like spoke to me in in a very spiritual way that I feel like only happens sometimes. Like, yes, you see animals all the time, but I feel like there is sometimes that you'll see an animal, or you'll have an encounter and you're like, no, that was something different. That was spiritual, that was deep, or just more significant in some sort of way. And I feel like that was the moose for me. So, what I wanted to do live is Google what moose, I was gonna say what meese, like plural. what, what moose? What a moose. Sorry, oh my gosh, I need to chill. The moose spirit animal meaning, or like what it symbolizes. So, let's Google that right now, alright? Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Spirit animal moose. Okay. The moose spirit animal symbolizes strength, confidence, wisdom, and authenticity, encouraging self acceptance and the embrace of one's unique qualities. Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like sometimes I look up spirit animal stuff and it's like very, what's the word? Generic. So I like that. Let's look at, should we do spiritanimals.com or should we do Urban Healers of LA? We'll do spiritanimals.com. Okay, this one says, in this case, moose symbolism is letting you know that you and only you have the authority to make your choices in life. Therefore, the moose meaning insists that you do not need to feel ashamed or pressured in any way by your friends and your peers. It is safe for you to make choices that are different from theirs. This spirit animal teaches you to stand loud and proud and own who you are. In other words, your individuality is your strength. Ooh, I like that. I actually feel like that very much is symbolic with my life right now. Like, I feel like what's happening in my life is I am finally accepting what I want to do and what I want to be, and it's symbolic with even this new season of my show. Like, I'm changing things up, I'm doing new vibes, I'm even dressing different, I did my hair differently. Like, I feel like that's actually very spot on for stuff I'm feeling, and to be able to claim it and say, like, this is who I am and this is what I want. And again, I want to have like a little bit of a side note, because I'm sure there's someone listening that's going to be like, why are you looking up the meaning of animals? That is not real, that is dumb or weird or whatever. And that's totally fine, like, to each their own. But I will say, and this is with like literally everything I believe in, if it helps you, if it allows you to be introspective, if it allows you to have some sort of meaning or sign or anything, I feel like there is no reason why you shouldn't, I don't know, shouldn't look into it. It's like, if it helps you, then why not? And whether it's real or it's not real or whatever, like, to each their own. But I always feel like I'm able to find what I need and what I'm looking for when I have like weird animal encounters and experiences like that. And I actually was looking through like the origins of spirit animals and like where it came from and stuff. And obviously it's come from, so many different places, so many different people. And so it says, like, many cultures turned animals into protective spirits, guardians, messages, and even gods. For example, Egyptian deities are depicted the heads of animals such as falcons, sphinx, dogs, even a crocodile. Hindus have a monkey-headed god. Yeah, and then indigenous tribes, Northern Europeans also have strong connections to animals. Yeah, I just feel like, again, it's one of those like things that it's such ancient wisdom and knowledge. There's got to be something there. There's just got to be. I don't know. Which leads me to my next spirit animal thing. I asked you guys if you guys had any encounters or what you thought about it, and so I'm gonna open my little letterbox here, and we're gonna see what we have. Which truly one day I'm gonna want like a legit P.O. box, and I'm gonna expect more physical letters because I think that's awesome. And on a serious note, I love stuff like this because I feel like we're so digital that like letters and handwritten stuff just mean so much more to me, and so it's special. But let's see what this says. Okay. Look at this scroll. Love that. Ooh, it's gonna get windy. The wind just starts going like it's like a spell or something. Okay. It says, "Dear Brighton, I was trying to think of someone." Oh my gosh, sorry, I can't open this. "Dear Brighton, I was trying to think of someone who would take a stab at trying to answer my random question, and so of course I thought of you." Ooh, okay. "One day I came to my cabin up in the mountain, and when I walked into my deck, I saw a massive owl perched on the wooden post, and we locked eyes. He was probably about 3 feet from me, and both of us were too shocked to move." Wait, that's actually crazy. "My dog was running around on the deck, and I was sure that she would scare the owl away. I took out my phone and began recording the owl because it was so beautiful. When my dog got closer, the owl stooped down into the aspen trees, but it had me thinking, what does the owl spirit animal mean? I would love to hear your thoughts on this question. Thank you, and I'm excited to hear what you think. Love your show." Thank you, secret admirer. Just kidding. Hey, I promise you, I did not write this, even if it may seem that way. We don't know who wrote this, but I didn't write this, so that's all that matters. Okay, an owl. That's so cool. I wonder what owl it was. What kind? We're gonna look that up. Let's see. Owl spirit animal meaning. Hold on one second. We're gonna use Siri. Owl spirit animal meaning. Ooh, there's actually a ton for this. I don't doubt it though, because owls are so majestic, and I feel like they do have so much symbolism when it comes to it. Okay. Owl spirit animal meaning, spirit symbolism. Wisdom and knowledge, of course. The owl is strongly linked to wisdom, insight, and the ability to see hidden things and truth beyond deception. Intuition and inner guidance. It encourages tapping into an intuition and inner wisdom and listening to subtle signs. Interesting. Let's go to spiritanimalinfo.com. I feel like they seem very reputable. It says the owl spirit animal is emblematic of a deep connection with wisdom and intuitive knowledge. If you have the owl as a totem or a power animal, you're likely to have the ability to see what's usually hidden to most. When the spirit of this animal guides you, you can see the true reality beyond illusion and deceit. It also offers for those who have a personal totem the inspiration and guidance necessary to deeply explore the unknown and magic of life. I like this. This is very like spiritual, talking about things unseen. Ooh, should we talk about positive and negative associations? Positive is wisdom, clear vision, insight, guidance in the unknown, discernment, and independence. Negative symbolism means radical transition. Ooh. It doesn't mean this, I swear. Ominous endings, over intellectuality, isolation, lack of sense of humor, negative occult connotations. Oh, I don't think people of my show are in are in the cults, but who knows? Maybe I'm a cult. Just kidding. Okay. Honestly, that actually makes sense. I feel like I was reading in a somewhere else, but I lost it. It was talking about how to kind of bring this into balance, you want to, well, I guess it talked about isolation just barely, but it was talking about how to be more, intuitive in your own energy. It is good to be alone, obviously not for like long periods of time, but it was talking about how it's good to be alone, and so you're able to hear and feel your own energy and feel what you want to talk about and what you want to say and all those things. So I feel like that's, in a way, it could be a very strong message or a very strong sign. And again, I think the owl is like, there's so many things that are associated with the owl, but I feel like that was very clear on like, yeah, connect to yourself more, whatever that looks like to you. I feel like that's a pretty clear answer in what I read. Who knows? Okay. Another take I feel like I have when it comes to this is I feel like I do this because I want to connect with nature more. And obviously, with the modern world, it's very hard to connect to nature. Maybe it's not to some people, but for me, sometimes it is. I feel like I get in the swing of things. I'm online all day. I, like it's just, it's more of a thing. And we have become so disconnected to what nature means and why it's so important for us to be in nature and whether it's animals and spirit animal meanings or just nature as a whole. Like, I feel like having little practices like that to reconnect yourself to nature is not a bad idea, which brings me to kind of my next point. I wouldn't say this is really a rabbit hole, but it's kind of an update, and it's an update that I feel like you guys should do because it's been absolutely life-changing for me. I started a book club. I started a book club and it's amazing. I love it. There's only two other girls in my club. Maybe one day I'll start a book club with you guys because I've been absolutely obsessed with it, and I've never been a reader. I feel like I want to be a reader, but I'll like start a book and never finish it, and I've only ever finished books that I was literally forced to finish for like school. But anyways, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because things like a book club, I truly feel like is what is going to save us. One, I always make sure it's in person. Sometimes people do like Zoom book clubs, and I think that's fun too, but we always go to like a coffee shop or one of our friends hosts, and it's just so wholesome and beautiful. And my friend has a tea set, and we set up a little tea party. And last time I brought hummus and carrots and tons of different types of tea, and we just like actually, I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Office, but there's this like whole bit in The Office where they have like the finer things party and it's like a book club. And I feel like we do our own version of that, and it's so simple and yet so wholesome. The only thing that costs money when it comes to that is the book. But again, if you get your book on Thrift Books, which this is what I do every single time, shout out Thrift Books, sponsor me. I would actually be so obsessed with Thrift Books sponsoring my podcast, but it makes things really cheap, and they have tons of books in good condition, and I've never had a problem with them. So it's been so fun. And so the book that we're reading right now is Braiding Sweetgrass. And if you haven't heard of that book, it's actually kind of a really hard book to explain, but essentially it's talking about indigenous wisdom, and it's this lady who is a botanist and a journalist, and she kind of ties all of those things together into this book. The way she grew up was in indigenous culture, and she learned all about plants and berries and living on the land and what it means to her and the spiritual meaning, and how this modern world is missing that, and how we can kind of bring that back in subtle but amazing ways. And I have to say, she is the one of, if not the most beautiful authors I've ever read. And I don't mean that lightly, but maybe you should take that lightly because this is like the sixth book I've ever read in my life. I'm not an avid reader. My mom's laughing. But she really, I mean, she genuinely is such a beautiful writer. I actually kind of want to look up like Braiding Sweetgrass description because I feel like I didn't do a good job on it. But this does kind of lead me back to spirit animals because spirit animals, she talks about spirits, but within things that you would never think has a spirit, like berries. So strawberries, she has a whole chapter on strawberries and why that's spiritual. Or pecans, like the nut. She talks about why it's spiritual, and it's so beautiful. Hold on. Braiding Sweetgrass description. It would just be better if I should have just started with this. I should have just started with reading the description, but it's fine. Okay, yeah, so it's a nonfiction book by a botanist and citizen Potawatomi Nation member Robin Wall Kimmerer that weaves together indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and memoir to explore the relationship between humans and nature, focusing on the teachings and gifts of plants and advocating for a worldview of gratitude and sustainability. Yeah, that was a way better, more concise description. But I feel like when it comes to animals and plants and living on the land and living in nature, she talks about this way more effortlessly than I do, but when we live as if everything is living, then there's reciprocity. Then it's like a give and take, and it's a beautiful cycle, and we're not just like taking. She talks about that a lot. But I feel like when we forget that everything is spiritual and everything is special, and has its place here, that's when she talks about us being so incredibly greedy and taking more than we need and not giving or thinking about other people as much as we should. And I don't know. It's just beautiful. It genuinely is. I feel like it's a really good book to read during the fall time or anytime that you feel a little disconnected. It really is beautiful. Okay, we're going to pivot. We're going to pivot to this because I feel like it needs to be talked about just a little bit. I don't want to talk about it a ton. Because again, I don't know a lot about this topic. I know there's going to be people that are going to come for me, and that's totally fine. But I feel like the elephant in the room is that Taylor Swift just launched a new album. It's called The Life of the Showgirl. I kind of want to talk about, before I talk about my thoughts, I want to talk about songs I liked from it because I feel like everyone's saying, oh, it's a horrible album, it's everything's bad about it, and I don't believe that. I don't believe I feel like there's no album out there that doesn't have one good thing about it, okay? So I really did like some of the melodies of the tracks. I really did. I thought they were good. People are saying she copied a lot of other tracks and melodies and whatnot. But what my friend was told me, who is an actual Swiftie, because I'm not, and she educated me on this, is that the reason why they sound a lot the same as like all these other tracks is because like that was the whole point. It was she was taking melodies from all of these popular musicians or like showgirls per se, you know, some of these are like guys, but to make a point that these are all of the people that are in kind of the show business. At least this is what my friend was saying, so don't quote me on that. And so she even gave like credits where credits were due to the melodies that she took and rearranged and whatever. And so I find that kind of funny for people that are kind of just completely bashing on her, saying she copied everyone, because I don't think that's the case. I think there are some songs, I don't know about all of them, but I think there's some songs that was literally the entire point, was to take some of the melody from the songs for a reason. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out. I did like The Fate of Ophelia. I thought that was a bop. I thought that melody was good. I don't really know about the lyricism in any of this, and we'll get to that. Some of the lyricism is very interesting. But The Fate of Ophelia, I really liked the melody. Let's see. I even liked Opalite. I thought Opalite was really fun for the melody again. But I just have to say something about, holy crap, Mom, it's so bright. I wonder if the camera can even see me for how I'm like actually baking. It's fine. You don't have to look, but I'm just like, I just have to say that right now. It's like freaking bright. I feel like I have like a spotlight right on my face right now. Okay, so one of the tracks like I kind of want to talk about just for 2 seconds because it's too funny is, I don't know what you guys know about the song Wood. But it's pretty insane. I don't know if the whole song is supposed to be what I think it means, but there are some very interesting lyrics in this song that I would just like to do a dive on for 2 seconds. Let's see the lyricism in this incredible song. I ain't got to knock on wood. Forgive me, it sounds cocky. Haha, I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube. Mom, he says he dickmatized me. Yeah. Oh, this is another incredible lyric by Taylor here. Let's see. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened up my thighs. Like, I feel like there could have been double meanings, but instead you just kind of came out and said it, which is fine. Anyways, let's see. Girls, I don't need to catch the bouquet to know a hard rock is on the way. Don't exactly know what that one means. The curse on me was broken by your magic wand. Anyways, new heights of manhood. I ain't got to knock on wood. Yeah, that was a... What do you think about that, Mom? Oh, true, the Hard Rock. Why'd she? Yeah, that's a good. My mom just says she thinks the rock could be the wedding ring. That's actually a good point. The wand is Harry Potter. We love that. Keeping it PG here, folks. So yeah, I genuinely I just thought that was funny. I thought that needed to be pointed out. Um, my mom and I were actually talking about this while I was driving up here. Was it while I was driving up here? I think it was 2 days ago. We were talking about how I don't like bashing on artists, no matter what, because they put themselves out there. Yes, Taylor has been in the game for years, literally decades, and she's a billionaire and she knows what she's doing and whatnot. But I still feel like it is so important to not bash on any artist that is putting work out there, even if you think it's funny or you don't understand it or it's not your cup of tea or whatever. I just think especially if you're trying to create something, like, I don't know. I think it's bad karma. I think it's bad karma to think that you're the only one that has, the right opinion on art. Art is subjective, right? Everyone has an opinion. And I've literally been scrolling through TikTok and there's people that are talking about how this is her best album yet. And I don't know if I agree with that, but I respect that. And I also think that, again, like, one of my dreams is to put out music. And here's the thing. Not every album or not every single is going to be an absolute smash hit, especially to everybody, but like in general. It's ebb and flow, and I think that's important to remind ourselves of, that art is not for the numbers. Art is to express something, and it doesn't really matter how successful it is or if you like it or not. I always celebrate artists for putting themselves out there. I really do. I think creation, I feel like I talked about this in one of my last episodes, but creation is like everything to us. And the more we create instead of consume, which I feel like we are in a very, consumer driven era, I feel like the more we create, the better society we have. Genuinely, the happier people are, the happier I am. And yeah, that's all that matters. So, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Let's look at my notes here for a second. Okay, well, I think that's potentially it, but I just had an idea for my next show, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe. I'm going to write it down real fast in case I forget. We really need to get some ink in this I'm just kidding. There is ink. I lied. No, I'm not kidding. There needs to be some ink in that because I think it'd be genuinely so funny if I kept bringing that here. Yeah, I think that's it. I think my next episode, I think I'm going to do weekly. Again, weekly. Sunday is going to be the day. So as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as my Instagram if you want to follow my Instagram. There's going to be other bits, other comedy bits, so I would have you stay tuned for that. As well as, if you want to send me a DM or a comment down below or whatever, any type of letter, do that, and then I'll make it into a physical form until I get a P.O. box, because I don't know how to get a P.O. box. I don't even know how much it is to run a P.O. box, and that's not going to be until, a little later, but that's totally fine. Yeah, until next time, I hope this brightened your day. Bye. That was so